You know what's pretty foolish? Buying the wrong Audi in 2026 and watching your bank account drain faster than the coolant from a cracked radiator, which is exactly what happened to me when I bought my first Audi. Today, we're trying to make sure you don't end up like me. And we're breaking down which Audis will treat you right and which ones will leave you crying in a Jiffy Lube parking lot at 2 a.m. And before you start typing, actually, Audis are reliable. Calm down, Derek. We both know what happened to your A8, so stop yapping and let's get ranking. Okay, let's start with the winners. The good stuff, the ones that are Audis that won't betray you. The RS3, the angry hamster. The RS3 is the definition of the good stuff. I mean, this thing is basically a pocket rocket, or better still, a caffeinated chipmunk with a 5-cylinder turbocharged engine that sounds like Thor gargling gravel. Under the hood, this monster hides an E8 A55 Evo engine. That's a 2.5-liter inline-5 pushing 401 horsepower. To put that in perspective, that's more power than I had to carry all those groceries in one trip after my breakup because I refused to make two. Jokes aside, this engine uses what's called a firing order of 1-2-4-5-3. It might sound stupid, but that's not random. That sequence creates an uneven exhaust pulse that gives you that signature 5-cylinder warble. It's pure acoustic poetry. Not to mention, the turbocharger spools up faster than your anxiety when the check engine light comes on because Audi uses a twin scroll design that separates exhaust pulses to reduce lag. Don't even get me started on the Quattro all-wheel drive system. Stay with me, because here's where it gets sciencey. The RS3 uses a torque splitter rear differential that can send up to 100% of power to either rear wheel. That's called torque vectoring, and it uses clutch packs that engage and disengage faster than I ghosted my gym membership. What does that mean? Well, physics time. When you're turning, the outside wheel travels a longer distance than the inside wheel. The differential compensates by allowing them to rotate at different speeds while still delivering power. Without it, you'd scrub speed. With it, you carve corners like a surgeon with a vendetta. Maintenance? Well, this Audi is shockingly reasonable for what you're getting. Yeah, it needs premium fuel. Yeah, brake pads wear faster because you're hauling that all-wheel drive weight. But the engine, solid. The transmission, oh boy. The 7-speed dual clutch is reliable as long as you're not launching it at every stoplight like you're auditioning for Fast and Furious 47. But what if you don't like fuel and prefer electric? Shut up. I was getting there, Timothy. The Q4 e-tron, the practical one. The Q4 e-tron is Audi's electric crossover that doesn't make you look like you're compensating for something. It's got an 82 kilowatt-hour battery pack that'll get you about 265 miles of range. That's enough to drive from your house to your ex's new place and back without stopping to charge. Or think about your life choices. The electric motor produces 295 horsepower in the dual motor setup. But here's the cool part. Electric motors deliver maximum torque instantly. So basically, there's zero lag. See, Newton's first law states that an object at rest stays at rest unless acted upon by an external force. Well, that external force is 339 pound-feet of torque hitting all four wheels simultaneously. And with that, you're no longer at rest. You're gone. Like most electric cars, the battery chemistry matters. See, Audi uses lithium-ion cells with a nickel-manganese cobalt cathode. And without getting too deep into electrochemistry, because I know you're already falling over, this combo gives you high energy density, which means more range in a smaller package. As for maintenance costs, this beast is lower than a traditional Audi because there's no oil changes, no timing belts, and no transmission fluid. The brake pads last forever because of regenerative braking, which, by the way, is when the electric motor becomes a generator during deceleration, converting kinetic energy back into electrical energy to charge the battery. It's like getting paid for slowing down, which is the opposite of every relationship I've ever had. And a cherry on top, charging at home costs about $12 for a full charge, depending, of course, on electricity rates. That's cheaper than therapy and faster than dealing with your problems. The A4 All-Road, the underdog. To be honest, nobody talks about the A4 All-Road. It's like the middle child of Audis. Not flashy enough to get attention, not practical enough to be the obvious choice. But here's the thing, it's weirdly perfect. It's a wagon with ground clearance of about 6.9 inches, which is wild when compared to the regular A4's 5.5 inches. That extra inch and a half is essential because it means you can clear speed bumps without scraping and feeling your soul leave your body. Sure, the Quattro system here's less aggressive than the RS3's torque-splitting madness, but it's reliable. It uses a crown gear center differential that splits power 40-60 front to rear under normal conditions. The 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder makes 261 horsepower. Is it exciting? No. Will it start every morning and get you to work without drama? Absolutely. The engine uses direct injection and variable valve timing. Direct injection sprays fuel directly into the combustion chamber at pressures exceeding 2,000 psi. That's more pressure than I felt giving a best man speech in December of last year. Oh yeah, Dave's married now. Good for him. This thing is the automotive equivalent of a golden retriever. Not the smartest, not the fastest, but loyal and unlikely to bite you in the wallet. Now it's time for the losers, the Audis that will destroy your f***ing life. The e-tron GT, the beautiful nightmare. Ah, man, the e-tron GT looks incredible, sleek, sexy, like it was carved from a single piece of aluminum by Scandinavian design gods, and like a hot chick who thinks you're loaded, or a man on his 9th bottle saying he loves you. It will absolutely ruin you. Starting price, over $100,000. That's before destination charges, before you add literally anything. And you will add things because the base model feels like you're sitting in an expensive prison. But that's not even the problem. The problem is the electrical architecture. This car shares its platform with the Porsche Taycan, which means it shares Porsche's "let's make everything proprietary and charge you $4,000 for a software update" philosophy. As if that's not enough, the battery degradation is real. Lithium-ion batteries lose capacity over time through a process called calendar aging. Even if you don't drive it, the battery's internal resistance increases. Take a car that costs more than a year of college, add 20% battery degradation in 5 years, and you've got a very expensive paperweight that can make it to the grocery store and back. To make it worse, insurance costs are bonkers because replacement parts are bonkers. You know how much a headlight assembly costs? Take a guess. No, higher. Keep going. It's $3,000. 3,000 American dollars for a headlight because it's got matrix LED technology with 138,000 pixels per light. That's more pixels than my first laptop screen, and it's less useful than common sense. The A8, the depreciation speed run. The A8 is Audi's flagship sedan. Aluminum space frame construction, air suspension that adjusts 100 times per second, predictive active suspension that uses cameras to scan the road ahead and pre-adjust the dampers. It's engineering wizardry. It's also a financial disaster, and I know this personally. These things depreciate faster than my motivation on a Monday morning. You buy a new one for $90,000. In 3 years, worth maybe $45,000 if you're lucky. That's a 50% value loss. You know what else loses half its value in 3 years? Nothing. Literally nothing depreciates this fast except maybe my confidence after that karaoke incident. But still, the air suspension is the killer. Each corner has an air spring controlled by an electronic valve. When it does work, glorious, smooth as butter. When it fails, you're looking at $2,500 per corner to replace, and they will fail. Air suspension components wear out, rubber seals crack, compressors die. It's not if, it's when. The tech package is another trap. You get a 12.3-inch digital cockpit, a head-up display, night vision. It's amazing for about 2 years. Then the infotainment system becomes outdated, and Audi wants $1,500 to update it. The night vision camera stops working and costs $4,000 to replace. You're now driving a very expensive car with half its features broken. Trust me, this grown man shed some tears. The SQ5, the middling money pit. The SQ5 sits in this weird spot. Not fast enough to be fun, not cheap enough to be practical, not reliable enough to recommend. It's got a 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder making 349 horsepower. Sounds good on paper, but it weighs 4,600 pounds. That's heavy. To accelerate mass, you need force. F equals MA. Mass times acceleration. When mass is high, you need more force to achieve the same acceleration. That means more stress on every component, and that's a big problem when a transmission is the weak point. See, it's a ZF 8-speed automatic. When it's working, smooth shifts, great programming. But the thing is, the torque converter can develop shudder around 50,000 miles. The fix? Transmission fluid change if you're lucky. Complete replacement if you're me. To make it worse, the turbocharger longevity is questionable. Single turbo setups on 6-cylinder engines experience high exhaust gas temperatures. Over time, turbine blades erode, seals wear, and you start seeing blue smoke on startup, and your heart sinks lower than the resale value. Now, I don't know about you, but I prefer my car not to cosplay a dragon on a random Monday morning. Look, bottom line, Audi makes some genuinely great cars. The RS3 is a riot. The Q4 e-tron makes sense for a lot of people. The A4 all-road is solid. But they also make cars that'll drain your savings faster than you can say, "Job and engineering." The e-tron GT is gorgeous but brutal. The A8 is a depreciation nightmare. The SQ5 is just meh with expensive problems. Before you buy any Audi in 2026, ask yourself, can I afford to fix this when it breaks? Not if, when. Because it will. German cars are like relationships. Exciting at first, expensive to maintain, and they'll definitely break your heart eventually. Do your research. Get a pre-purchase inspection from an independent mechanic who isn't afraid to tell you the truth. Budget for maintenance. And for the love of all that's holy, buy an extended warranty if you're getting anything with air suspension or a turbocharged engine over 50,000 miles. Now get out there and make a smart decision. Or don't. I'm not your daddy. I'm just a guy who's made enough bad car choices to warn you about yours. And Derek, your A8's check engine light's still on. I can see it from here.